Good morning, my loves. Happy Monday. It is another glorious day here at the lake. High today, are you ready for this? 105. Yeah, that's not really considered hot here. Hot's if it's over 109. I know, what can I say? It's Arizona. You live in the desert, what do you expect? Pardon the puffy face. I have spent most of the weekend in an airplane. I went back home to visit loved ones. It was wonderful. But one thing before I get on to that topic that I have to say, if you are traveling, you are sick, your child is sick, please do not get on a plane and contaminate the rest of us. Each flight I was on had at least one person. I'm thinking three of the four flights I was on, it was kids, horribly sick. These kids should have been home in bed, coughing, running a fever, whining, absolutely miserable. When they cough and sneeze, they don't cover their mouth, they don't cover their face, they just let it fly all over the cabin. Thank you so much for that. And you hear the parents screaming at them, you better not be sick. This better not be COVID like so-and-so. This better not be strep throat. We'll get to the doctor once we land. Well, thank you for making the rest of us sick. I know I don't appreciate it, and I doubt if anyone else does either. Well, it was interesting. You're waiting to board, and there were people with babies. We had one family that had like a 3-year-old and newborn twins, and everybody's cringing. We know we're going to be hearing the kids screaming. People had dogs. The dogs, the babies, they were fine. It was the people coughing and just making everybody else sick. So please, be considerate of other people. I know you want to get to your destination. Take your kids to the doctor before you get on the flight. Go to the doctor yourself. Get on antibiotics. Make sure you're not contagious, because I don't appreciate the way I feel this morning. My face is puffy. My throat's not the happiest. And I spent a total of 6 hours both directions on a plane. Yeah, let's not do this to other people. Let's be a little more considerate. So, onto the big topic. So I land back home in Kansas. I haven't been back for a couple of years. The Midwest is completely different than Arizona, the desert. It smells different. It feels different. They had thunderstorms, so you still had the smell of ions in the air. And one of the other reasons that I'm puffy this morning, allergens. I had forgot everything that I was allergic to back home. Oh my word. Yeah. So that was always fun. But seeing everybody, and the people I went to see, they get together once a year. These are friends of my older brother's. They were his college friends. I have known these people, some since 1967, over 55 years plus. And they were in their 20s, they were in college, they were stylish, fashionable, elegant. They were my role models, my mentors. And they just accepted me as this awkward little 12, 13-year-old girl. I was just, well, that's Don's little sister. It's okay. And they just always accepted me. And then as we grew up, I was still accepted. I never was phased out. And now when they have this party, I get an invitation. I start hearing from people a couple of months ahead. Are you going to make it? Are you going to fly in? Please come in. Do everything you can to make it. There were a lot of hugs, a lot of tears, lots of laughter and stories, some of the best food imaginable. It was a potluck this year. It was a barbecue and a potluck. And it was kind of funny. The theme was Mexican food. So I landed and they had gone to the grocery store for me, and I made guacamole. We had all kinds of wonderful food and desserts that were just fantastic. And it was just a wonderful evening of stories and love and laughter. And I mean, obviously they have aged. I've aged. But in my heart, I still see them as those 20-year-old kids, college kids, that, from the early 70s, that were very elegant and very stylish. And they weren't hippies. They were, for anybody, okay, you need to Google this if you're too young to remember. Look at the show That Girl with Marlo Thomas. And that's how they dressed. they, they dressed very stylish and very elegant, and they were wonderful. I mean, yes, they wore jeans and stuff, but they were just amazing to me. The girls, Nance, Connie, Delana, they taught me about makeup. They taught me about lipstick and nail color. And I remember one year for Christmas, it must have been like 1970, I got my very first curling iron. Big deal to a little girl. And we always had a huge party every weekend. And that everybody and their parents all came out to our house. We had a very large estate. And they came out and, they said, "What'd you get for Christmas?" And I told them, the girl said, "Okay, come on." They took me by the hand to my bedroom and they showed me how to appropriately use a curling iron, how to wear my makeup, how to do this, how to do that. And I thought it was the most wonderful thing in the world that these college girls were paying attention to me. I didn't have to beg for attention. They said, "Come on, let's show Brenda how to do this." That meant the world to me. So when people tease me about how I come across, how I can be, I mean, I'm warm and fuzzy, but I can be very professional and kind of polished. Well, you can thank these ladies. They made me who I am. And I am so thankful and so grateful, and I love them to the moon and back. The guys, I had the biggest crush on all of the guys, on Mike and Rod and Gary, Mike Wallace. To me, they were just the most handsome guys, and they were nice to me. They would joke with me and tease me. They would have actual conversations with me. I was 12 and 13. What college guy is going to have a conversation with a little girl that isn't creepy? These guys were wonderful, and they still are. Do I still have a crush on them? Absolutely. They're wonderful. I love them to the moon and back. It was just joyous seeing them. It truly fed and nurtured my soul. It was such an amazing time. And in this group of people, the parents were included. So there were, of course, my parents, Mom and Pop Mingy. That's how they were referred. And we had Mom and Pop Mingy, Mom and Pop Collins, Mom and Pop Hess, Mom and Pop Butler. The list grew on, and that's how they were referred. Now, all of the parents have passed, except one, Mr. Browning. Millie Browning passed a few years ago. Bob Browning is still with us. Bob was there. His kids brought him, 98. God bless him. And he uses a walker, understandable. But other than that, his mind is sharper than mine is. His appetite's better than mine is. He looked wonderful. You would never, ever guess the man's 98 years old. You would think he's probably early 80s, maybe. So he takes very good care of himself, and he's happy. And it was just so wonderful because, in a way, we're celebrating him and all that he brought into all of our lives, as well as celebrating all the friendships and the love. It has become my extended family. They are indeed my family. We have seen each other through births, divorce, deaths, graduations, everything under the sun. We will always be there for each other. I mean, if you have friendships that last over 50 years, yeah, that's a keeper. And I can't wait to see them next year. The photos that everybody's sharing, just, you laugh. I mean, they're wonderful. It was a magnificent time. It was well worth the time and the expense of traveling 1,000 miles to spend 12 hours with these dear people. It's what you do for friends. It's what you do for your extended family. If you love people, you make time for them. They are a priority in my life. They always have been. They always will be, because I love them. They know it because I show it and I tell them. So make time for people that you love. You're worth it, and so are they. Have a great Monday.